I forgot to do that. Okay, so here we go. All right, so Valeria, what did you think about the video? And like, which methods did you think were effective from the video?
Actually, I didn't see it, and I didn't get it.
Oh,
it was
okay.
in our group?
Yes, I sent it out in both the group and in the email as well. So no problem. Is everyone else okay if we watch it real quick, since it's only 5 minutes? And it'll be a good review for those of you who saw it already, but it'll be good for Valeria to see as well. So give me just 1 second. Let me share my screen. Oh, here it is, screen share. Okay, and Katerina, I believe, is coming in as well. So give just a second for her. Hello, how are you today?
Hi.
Katerina? You are on mute. Can you hear me? Hello? Maybe she's having some technical issues there. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this. I did start watching it as well, so I will probably
just eat less and exercise like crazy, right?
Always a commercial.
Because today I'm going to show you 3 simple superfood tips.
The goal is to ask them.
I think it starts at about.
I will also link to that at the end of this video, so you can watch that if that is something that interests you. So, small talk. What is the point of small talk? Why do we do it? I think that's the first important thing to cover before we talk about how to do it. And the answer is complicated, but in my opinion, it kind of boils down to 3 things, which is you want to learn about someone new or learn something new about someone that you know. You want to see if you connect. You want to see if there's a relationship worth pursuing there, if you guys get along and you want a friendship or to be dating or a mentorship, whatever it might be. And 3, you want to have fun and you want it to be fun for them. You want it to be an enjoyable experience. So with that said, here are 4 ways that you can make small talk so that it's not a boring interview-esque vibe or a bunch of awkward silences and forced conversation. The first thing is a compliment plus cold read. And I actually didn't invent this. Someone, I think a natural, just did this to me when I was at an event one time, and it really made an impression on me. So I was in a group of maybe 4 or 5 people. We're all getting to know each other for the first time, and I made a couple jokes and I had people laughing. And this woman asked me if I was a comedian. She said, "Oh my God, you're so funny. Are you a comedian?" So that's a compliment. And then a cold read, which is just a guess at something about them, where they're from, what they do, a hobby, whatever it was. But I will tell you, I instantly really liked that woman. She made me feel so good about myself. And I did start talking about what I actually do. But the impact it had on me versus if she had just said, "Oh, by the way, what's your job?" was so much stronger. So this can be anything from, "Wow, you're really extroverted. I bet you're great at sales." Or, "Wow, you have incredible fashion. I bet you're a stylist." And if you're right, great, bonus points. They'll laugh and wonder how you knew it. But if you're wrong, there's no knock. There's no talent involved. You don't have to get this right. You're just giving a compliment, giving a guess, and then they will tell you whatever it is, what they do or where they're from. It sets a fun vibe. It gets sort of that interview vibe, and they will really appreciate the compliment, which will make them much more likely to engage in the conversation fully. The second thing, sticking with the cold theme, is something I consider creating an avalanche of words, and specifically creating an avalanche of words with a good question. So the goal here is, instead of getting those one-word answers where someone really doesn't engage you in conversation, the goal is to ask them something that gets them talking and talking and talking, almost word vomiting, because they're so excited about what you asked them. There's 2 ways you can do this, and if you combine them, it's even more powerful. First is try to avoid questions that have one-word answers. So, how long have you lived in Los Angeles? That's a pretty boring small talk question that I get asked a lot because I live here now. And yes, there's a charismatic way to answer it with your whole backstory, but most people, if they're not great conversationalists, are just going to say, "Oh, 6 months, 5 years," whatever the answer is. Instead, if you ask them a question that gets them talking more, like, why did you move to LA? Or what do you do for fun, right? You will get them to engage in a longer answer, get them talking. They'll give you more to respond to. You'll have a much more natural conversation full of different threads you can take. The second thing is ask them something that they're going to want to answer because they like talking about what you asked. So a lot of people ask about work. They'll say, hey, how's work going? It's a terrible question in my opinion, because one, you can just say good, bad, whatever. Two, they might not like their job. But instead, if you can ask what's exciting at work these days, or even better, what's exciting in life these days, or what do you do for fun? Now the person is more likely to engage and talk because they like talking about what they like. They're thinking about what they like, associating it with you, creating that positive vibe between you guys. And now you have an opportunity to connect on something they care about. The third thing you can do is make a guessing game of it. I really like to do this. Don't do this all the time for every question, but if you find yourself asking a question that seems kind of boring and you catch it, you say, where are you from? Then immediately turn it into a guessing game. Just go, where are you from? Wait, give me 2 hints. Let me see if I can guess. And the person will probably appreciate that you're making this conversation more fun. They'll give you hints. They'll think about what to say. You'll try to guess. You'll be laughing and smiling. When you eventually do find out where they're from, it's a much more fun process to get there. Now, you wouldn't want to do this in any situation. You wouldn't want to do this if you're small talking your boss, let's say, but it's really useful in social situations, bars, things like that. And honestly, anytime it feels appropriate, it is fun. It is much more fun than just asking a series of where are you from, what do you do, how old are you, that most small talk devolves into until you're talking about traffic or the weather, because you just don't know what else to say, right? So I like to mix and match with those 3 things a lot, with the guessing game and questions that get them talking and the compliments and the cold reads. The fourth thing I like, because you're not going to talk about them necessarily, but you're going to elicit their advice or their opinion and show that you value what they think. And it's a very simple question. It's just, hey, I have a quick question for you. And then anything that you genuinely think is interesting. Now, unlike the avalanche, which is about what they think is interesting, this is really, what do you like? What do you think is interesting to talk about? And you try to engage with them on this instead of just the regular list of topics that everybody asks about when they're making small talk. So this can be anything from super light to kind of deep. When Charlie and his brother Henry and I went out to a restaurant the other day, they were wearing ugly Christmas sweaters. And so we just started asking the people sitting around us and the waitresses and the hostesses which sweater they liked more. And then they could guess, and then we could tease, or they could pretend, oh, it's just because you like Charlie more than Henry, it's not the sweater. It made a fun vibe for everyone around us, much more so than if we just said, hi, what's your name? Here's my order. I want this sandwich, whatever it might be. The other thing you can do is go a lot deeper, and especially with people that you know a little bit or you've met before, this is a really easy way to create a more interesting conversation than just how have things been going. So anytime I am with extended family and I'm with somebody who was married for a long time or had a marriage that didn't work, I like to just ask them, hey, I've never been married, I'm in a relationship. I would love to know your thoughts on what makes a long-term relationship work or what doesn't. And what's nice about this question is if they're happily married, they're going to be happy to tell you what has worked for them. Interestingly enough, if they aren't happily married or they're struggling or they're divorced, they're still really actually pretty excited to talk to you, because I've seen an instinct where people want to help you to avoid the mistakes that they've made or the suffering that they've had. So a question like that, if you find it interesting like I do because you like relationships and psychology, can start a really interesting conversation, much more so than how are the kids, how's the job, the questions that everybody asks. So those are the 4 things that can help you to make a small talk conversation interesting and fun and feel effortless and natural. And that is a compliment and a cold read, a question that creates an avalanche of words, having them play a guessing game of any kind, or telling them that you want to know their opinion on a question or something that you find interesting that you want to kind of bring into the conversation via a question. That's it for today's video. I hope that that's helpful. Now, if you are interested in the coaching, there is a link in the description. It's the first time I've set this up, so fingers crossed that I did it correctly. But basically, there's a couple ways that you can earn raffle tickets. You can like our Facebook page, like our Instagram.
Okay. We don't need to do all of that about the liking the Facebook page and stuff. So Marina, welcome. How are you today?
Hello. Thank you. I'm pretty good.
Good. Very
Yeah,
nice to have
yeah.
you with us.
You too. Thank you. Thank you a lot. Yes, like, but I have like different time. I just like woke up because I'm in US in Los Angeles, and right now it's just like 8 a.m. morning time.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so you're in LA.
Right now, yes, yes. But
Okay,
yeah,
excellent.
next month I will be in London.
Okay. I am in Mexico, so I'm actually
Oh, yes,
2 hours. I'm just 2 hours ahead of you,
yes,
where you
true.
are at the moment. So yes, it is early morning for sure. Okay. Let's go to Elena. Let's see. I'm going to share the screen. It's got the questions on it. So, which method did you like that you found most effective of what he talked about in the video?
It was interesting for me, method complement plus cold read.
Mm-hmm.
And it was new for me, avalanche of words. I didn't know what is avalanche.
Yeah, an avalanche is just like lots and lots of words.
Yeah.
Basically getting people talking. So an avalanche itself is something that you see more about with mountains and
Yeah.
And so this, like when the snow actually starts falling down, that is an avalanche. I've never really heard it the way that he used it either, and but an avalanche of words.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good terminology as well. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Margot, what method did you think was most effective?
I really like method when you have to guess. So, what about your job? Let me guess. And I think that why it's good is it's not like only question, you involved in person, so you try to figure out what's interesting, and I think for your person, which one you can communicate it, more like interesting when someone guessing about you, and maybe you thought that I'm looking like a teacher, or I'm looking like a yoga instructor, or maybe so I think guessing pretty interesting.
Yes, I agree. All right, thank you. Kalinka.
Yeah.
Which method did you think was most effective? Which one did you like?
I suppose all these 4 methods will be very effective. And for me, the most interested was the last when he advised to ask the offer from other people, ask to advise. And I think in now time we not so often ask the advice from other people. We try to use internet, we try to use Google to find answer, we avoid communication sometimes. So it's very good to practice this advice, and I will use it. I suppose it's very interesting.
Yeah, nice. All right, Valeria.
Yeah.
What method did you think was most effective?
I think first of all, I think it's to make some fun conversation, because you can do some joke, and it can be fun and can be easy, and it's great for, especially for persons who don't know you, and you don't know them, for example. And I think the second one, I agree with Kalinka that it's great to take advice
from other people, because everybody likes to give advices. And actually, in my opinion, it works.
I agree with that too. I really like that method as well. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, and Marina, how about you? What method did you think was effective?
To be honest, like I missed half of video, and it's difficult to give like some conclusions.
Sure.
So maybe I missed this question, yes, and I will
Okay.
answer for that.
Yeah, not a
Yeah,
problem.
sorry.
That's okay. I understand. And Elena mentioned avalanche was a new phrase that she liked. Did anyone have another phrase or word that you learned or liked from the video?
For me, cold read as well, it was a
Cold
new
read?
phrase, because I heard cold calls, but cold read,
Ah,
it's also interesting.
Actually, that was new for me as well. Yes. Also, cold call I knew, but cold read, I was like, never thought of it that way. So yeah, he was pretty good about using words differently than we're used to. Good. Okay. Anyone else for that? No? Okay. Just to back up for a second, today we're going to talk about small talk, which is what we've started talking about with the video, and we're also going to practice describing ourselves and describing others. Okay, so just get down. So when we first meet someone, what are some questions that you can ask? And also let's think about what type of places that you might be meeting someone, because I think that can also change the type of questions that we would ask. So we have some ideas from the video, but what other type of questions would you normally ask someone when you were meeting them? And I am
It depends on country, I think.
Sure. Let's see, I wanted to do, I thought I could do a whiteboard from here. Nope. Okay. Why? I know I've done a whiteboard before. I'm not sure why I'm struggling to find the whiteboard today. I will have to look for it later. No problem. All right. So what I'm going to do then is actually, I wanted to write down some of the questions, what I was looking for. So I'm going to stop screen sharing for just 1 second. See if I can find the whiteboard. Maybe it's because I was already sharing my screen. I don't know. No. Security. Whiteboard, it says it's there. Okay, no problem. I will just find another way to do this. Do a Google Doc. Right. I'm sorry for the delay. And I'm going to share my screen one more time. Okay. All right. So you were saying that you thought it would be different in different countries. So for where you are now, what question would you ask?
I'm in UK. Can I start?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm UK, so I'm Ukrainian refugee, and usually I met people in refugee center or English-speaking club or Ukrainian center. So the most often question is, do you find something, a place where you can practice English?
Okay, so So do you, let's see, do you have or have you found a place to practice English? Okay.
For free.
Or how do you practice English? Maybe. All right, that's a good one. And I think that is, for any language, if you happen to be learning Spanish or French or German or something like that, I think that's always an interesting question to ask people is how do you learn? How do you practice? Who do you practice with? Those types of things is always a very interesting question. For me, also when people are learning a language, I would ask, why are you learning XYZ language? Obviously, you all know if you're living outside of your country and you're living in an English speaking country and everyone's learning English, you know why you're learning English, but maybe it's a different language that you find out someone is learning. So you can always ask, why? Why would you be learning this language?
And if we return to a video, maybe I should start with what is excellent your English? Where did you learn?
Where did you learn, or how did you learn?
I try to use the compliment in the beginning.
Yes, right. Your English is excellent. Perfect. Good. Thank you. All right. Valeria.
Yeah, I'm in UK too, but I all the time speak with another English person, so that's why I asked about everything. For example, hello, are you all right? It's just for hello. And after, usually we asked about weekend and last evening. It's usually a question. What did you do last evening? What did you do on weekend? What did you do with your family? What did you do with your children? So it's first of all. And after, what will you do today evening? What will you do on lunch? We speak only with that situation who happens now or was 8 hours ago, for example.
Right. Okay, excellent. Yes, I like those questions too, which is why when we opened the class, I asked everyone how their weekend was and what did you do?
Yeah.
I think it's a great way. Number one, it helps you practice your English. And you can think about, talking in the past, what you did on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But also, I'm interested and curious about what people did, because then I might find that we have something in common, or maybe we do something similar, or I might have a new idea of something I can do in an upcoming weekend sometime or something. So yeah, I like those questions as well. Perfect. All right. Marina, what types of questions would you ask someone when you were meeting them?
That like in UK, very popular and people very open and friendly, and every time they use compliments, and like all small talk starts like from compliments. Oh, you have so nice neck. Where did you buy it? How are you? How do you do? What is your plan? Where are you going? So, oh girl, you look so nice. Something like this, like, that you every time use compliments, every time. Yes, and I like it so much. So, and of course, I do like the same. First of all, it's compliments, and after I ask what I want.
Yes, perfect. I like to do that too, and say, oh, I love that dress. Where did you get it? Or something like that, as well.
Yes.
I think that is really good. Or your makeup looks beautiful today. did you have someone help you learn how to do your makeup, or, you know, did you watch a video, or do you just practice a lot, you know, whatever. My roommate
Yes.
is really, really good because she's a performer. She's really good about different styles of makeup and like having a look. And I'm like,
Yes,
how do you
yes.
do that? You know, like, I don't understand how she can look, you know, from one day looking like someone who's a yoga teacher to someone who looks like a rock star, you know, and she has all these different ways in the middle. So yeah, perfect. Okay. Margot, what about you? What type of questions would you ask?
It depends on circumstances where I met a person, but I think it will be, how are you today? Or what do you do for living? I don't know.
Mhm.
Something like a standard question.
Mhm.
Little bit boring, I know, but
Maybe
maybe
with the video, you can maybe change
yes.
that up a little bit, right?
Yes.
I think those are good questions. I think it is the fact that we get asked them all the time, and, you know, maybe looking at it differently and coming at it from a different angle is a good idea. Mhm. Perfect. All right, thank you. And Olena, I think you're the last one, correct?
Yeah, usually I talk a lot with other Ukrainians who already settled in here. So I ask, how did you settle in or settling in? What the sources of job search do you use now? And also, what was your experience of finding schools for your kids? Something like this that is useful for me, and then they can talk about their experience of settling in UK.
Yes, perfect. I think those are very important ones as well. Good. Another one that came from the video that I really liked, and I've used this one as well, is what is exciting at work for you, or in your life. I thought that was a really interesting question. Another way of looking at it is what motivates you to get out of bed every day, maybe.
Excuse me, could you scroll?
Oh, yes, sorry. Why is it not wanting to scroll? There we go. There we go. All right, got it. Sorry about that. Yeah, so what is exciting at work or in your life? What motivates you to get out of bed every day? You know, some of those can be maybe questions that you wouldn't want to ask the first time you meet someone necessarily, but maybe after you've met them and, you know, maybe it's a second or third meeting. Another one that I like to ask, even when I meet people for the first time, is what book, movie, TV show or podcast, anything, or maybe even music, are you excited about right now? So it could also be like, what book are you reading? What movie did you just see? What would you recommend? Wow, I cannot spell today. Sorry. What would you recommend? You know, so like, do you have a recommendation on a podcast that you're listening to right now? Or what new song or new group are you listening to at the moment? Something like that can also be interesting. And that way you can also, again, find out if you have an interest with someone else, you know, a common interest that is there. And then you can talk about the type of music that you like or the types of books that you like, something like that. All right, any other thoughts on this for these types of questions that you can ask?
I would add about when I communicate with foreign people, no, with English people, which live here in this city. I ask, why do you love this city? Could you share with me your love to this city? And it's like the advice which we have heard in the video. People share with me why this love the city, and it's very helpful because I try to be more familiar with the city. I also want to have beautiful, good emotion about the city. So it's work very well.
Yeah, I love that question, actually. Why do you love the city, and who do you share this love with in the city? Those are great questions. Absolutely. And another one, as far as, you know, dealing with the area that you live in, is maybe like what restaurant or cafe should I go to? Or is there, how would I say it? Maybe like, is there something I should see or do in the city? Like, again, that's that recommendation. It's asking for the opinion and the advice of the local person that is there, right? So where should I go? What food should I try to eat? What restaurant should I go to? You know, what even tourist attraction or non-tourist attraction should I go and see? I think those are some great questions. All right. Anything else before we move on? I will send this document out later as well. I'll have it into the file, the Google Doc file that everyone will have access to. Margot, I'll make sure I give you access to everything as well before I send it all out. So, all right, perfect. And we'll come back to that list here in a minute. So now let me get back to the presentation. All right, so we're going to switch now to talking about how we describe ourselves and how we describe others. So I would like everyone to take a couple of minutes and write down 3 to 5 descriptions of yourself, of how you would describe yourself, your physical self, and how you would describe your personality. So it'll take just a couple of minutes to jot those down. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the other screen. So you don't have to say the words that you use to describe yourself just yet, but in general, what are some words that we can use to describe people when we're talking about their physical appearance? So if you're wanting to describe someone to someone else, how would you go about doing that? Margot, tell me one word, a physical word that you would use.
Actually, I don't know, but I wrote, I'm fine.
I'm fine. Is that what you said?
In physical, yes. Personality, I have three words, but in physical, I excel. I'm fine.
Okay, right. Yeah, we could say that, sure. Like, okay. I like it. We do say that with certain people sometimes, yes. All right, thank you. Kalinka, how about you? What is a physical description word that you could use?
I use for me or I use for other people?
You can say just in general. You don't have to talk about yourself right now. So maybe think of it like with me. You know, if you were describing me to someone, to another refugee, what is one word that you could use to describe me or, you know, someone else?
For example, maybe about my friend, I would say that she has very beautiful female figure.
Okay.
Shape.
You said a female figure, but we could also, if we were talking about a male, we could just say beautiful figure as well.
I just thought that maybe I answer you wrong. Maybe but I just thought that describe people and other people. Fine, it's about me.
That's okay.
Other people can be you're beautiful, you are good looking, you have good eyes.
Yes.
Handsome.
Okay. And what other words can we use to describe someone physical? Elena?
Tall.
Tall. And along with that, we could also use short or even medium height or average. Medium or average height. Probably average would probably be better than medium. We'll say this, average. Okay. Valeria?
Okay. Physical. It can be strong. It could be your yeah, small. because I am tall, so it's it's problem for me every time, especially with Italian people.
Right.
Yeah, and Chinese.
Yes, and I am a short person, so I understand. So, but yeah, we would say short and not small necessarily.
Yeah, short. Yeah. Yes, it could be. And as a personality.
We'll come to that one in a second. Yeah, we'll come to that one in a second. So,
yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What about slim or fit and overweight?
Yes. Another word you could maybe use is heavy or a little heavy.
Little heavy.
Can you say sporty?
Yes. You could also say healthy. Sporty would probably be more athletic. But you could use both, sporty or athletic. Good. When you're talking about someone's eyes, then you could also use the colors of the eyes. So you know, they have nice brown eyes or nice blue eyes or something like that.
Yes, we can use smile, of course. You
smile.
Can have, you have a great smile or
nice, great, beautiful. Any of those words can go with that. Good. You can also talk about person's hair. So we would use like the hair color and then maybe the style. So is it straight? Is it curly, long, short? Stylish is another word, you know, meaning that they're kind of like in style, modern, whatever the trend is, kind of thing, maybe. And with hair color, you all can't really see it, but it's blonde, but I have green in there too. it was put in December, so it's not very much in there anymore. So, but you can say, maybe it's different colors, not just your regular browns and blondes, reds, things like that, but maybe someone I have a friend who has blue hair, or, you can, or it's blonde with green in it or something like that. Okay, let's move on to personality. So
can you please remind how you call when you have here hair like челка?
Bangs. Bangs. So Kalinka kind of has some bangs that are there on your forehead. Wavy is another word that you can use, because sometimes people may not have really curly hair, but it's more wavy in there as well. Okay, personality. Valeria, I'll start with you. What can you say about a person's
Purposeful, okay, of course.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Purposeful.
Purposeful, okay.
Purposeful, yeah. And in UK, a lot of people use interesting idioms. It sounds like "you're my cup of tea." You're my cup of tea. It means you are a great person. You are a great person at all. So many
or you are what I like.
Yeah, you are what I like. So many people
so
use
I have a
your
cup of tea.
Yes, you are my cup of tea.
Right. So I like tea. So, and that makes a lot of sense also in the UK, because they drink a lot of tea in the UK, right? We do use that phrase in the US. We don't drink, what most Americans don't drink tea. I do, but that's because I've traveled and lived so many different places that I've picked up the habit, I guess you could say. But we still use the phrase, "you're my cup of tea," or something. That's a good one. I like that. All right. Margot, what about you? What personality?
Polite.
Polite. Yes, good.
Honest.
Honest. Okay, great. Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Thanks. Okay. Kalinka, what personality description could you use for someone?
Outgoing person,
Outgoing.
Easygoing.
Easygoing.
A well-connected person.
Well-connected, yeah. Which could be very important for some of you as you're trying to.
For my profession.
Yes, exactly. All right.
Polite, we mentioned polite.
Polite.
Polite. Funny, person with good blah 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 of humor.
And
sense of humor. Sense of humor.
Sense of humor. Person with good sense of humor. Kind person.
Yes, and I use the US spelling here, but the UK spelling, I believe, has the U in that word. So just to make things even more complicated, sometimes we have different spellings. I will try to remember when I come across those. Yes, kind is good. All right, Elena, what's another word or two that you could use to describe someone?
Crazy, silly, friendly, responsible, communicative, active.
Wait, I can't type that fast. Responsible, you said communicative?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And I have three like mean, naughty, boring.
Ooh, boring. Yeah. There's always those people around too. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And let's see, anything else? Any other words that you want to add?
Maybe risky and daredevil.
Risky, adventurous. Daredevil. Those are good words. Nice.
By the way, I wanted to ask, silly, it's like funny in the sense of funny, not stupid, right?
Right, right. And it really shouldn't be here on the same line with crazy. I think I'll add it up here with the sense of humor, because it really, yeah, it goes more there. And crazy.
Crazy also can be in good sense here.
Right, absolutely. And so we need to be careful with using that. Yeah. Maybe if someone is really mentally having issues, we would just say more that they have mental problems, or they have mental issues or something, instead of using the word crazy. That was used, maybe 20 years ago. It was very common and popular to say that, but not as nice today to say it. Crazy would be like, "Ooh, that was crazy!" Like, "Wow, it was fun. It was great. It was very interesting." Something like that. Yeah. Interesting. That's another word that we can use to talk about someone. All right, it's a great list of words, everyone. And again, I will send all of this out to you later. So now, I was gonna have everyone, oh, wait, sorry, I have one more slide I'm gonna show you first. Sorry. Back here. So this is, I'm gonna try to do this as full screen so that you can see it. So here are some other words, and again, you'll have all of this in when I send the presentation out to you. So when we talk about physical traits, we talk about the skin tone that someone has. Are they tanned? Do they have fair or pale skin? Are they dark skinned? Things like that. With hair, we talk about the color. Is it dark? Is it light or fair? Red, blonde, brown, whatever. The style being curly, straight, or shaved. Men or women can have shaved heads, or can be very, very short. Talking about our eyebrows, thin or bushy eyebrows. I have very thin eyebrows myself. They don't grow. I've never had to do anything with them at all. So, so this is talking about like the facial features. So we have eyebrows, mouth. So you're talking about, do they have full lips? Are they thin lips? Things like that. Your nose and
A pointed nose, what does it mean?
yeah, pointed nose. It would just mean that it kind of just comes down to like maybe it's long and thin and just has kind of maybe a little bit of a point here. I'll see if I can find a picture in a second. Thin, flattened, turned up. So sometimes it can be used in both a negative and a positive way. Just talking about, maybe they have like a little bit of a almost like a ski ramp or something, at the end that just kind of turns up a little bit. But we can also use that terminology to talk badly about someone, or talk about someone thinking that they are better than other people. Oh, they turned up their nose at me, which meant, kind of like, oh, I don't want to talk to you kind of thing, right? So we can use it in both just a physical feature, but also in talking about how you're treated, or someone has treated you as well, by saying, she turned up her nose, or something like that. Okay. And then on the personality, over here we have the modifiers that we can use would be like a little, a bit, quite, very, incredibly. So those are, in adding those to these words that we have in here, bad-tempered. So he's incredibly bad-tempered, or he's a little bad-tempered. Maybe easygoing was one that we mentioned earlier. Ambitious, he's very ambitious, or she's quite ambitious. So it kind of adds on to, makes it a little more, gives it a little more oomph, I guess you could say. Optimistic, eccentric, arrogant, sensitive, bossy, argumentative, cheerful, loyal, stubborn, vain, narrow-minded, open-minded, impulsive, and honest. So those are all other types of personality traits that we can use to describe someone. Are any of these words new for you?
Mm-hmm.
Almost all.
Again,
I'm joking.
Hello. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you were able to join back again. How are you
Yes.
today?
So.
Okay. I'm sorry. Hopefully you'll have a better rest of your day.
Yes. I wonder about Wayne because it's a new word for me. Wayne. What's this characteristic is about?
Vain. Vain. Okay. Yeah. Let me.
And narrow-minded.
Narrow-minded. Okay. So give me just one sec. Oh, dang it. I hate it when it does that. It just flipped it to another page. There we go. Okay. Vain. We'll look at that one first. So vain is someone who feels very highly about themselves is one way. Having excessive pride in oneself is vain. So somebody who is conceited. Is that a word that you know? Conceited?
Oh, it's a people with a crown on their head.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. I like that. Yes.
How it will be in Russian, Valeria? Could you translate on Russian language?
Of course, it can be тщеславный.
Oh, thank you.
No?
Welcome.
Katrina saying no?
I think it's not just lovely. I think it's something different.
Okay, let's see.
That's mine. Don't touch it, please.
Тщеславный, yes.
No. You did mistake in word.
Ah, тщеславный, yeah.
Only without I. V-A-N,
No.
without I. Yeah.
No, it has an I in it. Yeah.
No, you did mistake. V-A-N, not I.
No, that's a different word.
Oh.
But you're right.
Sorry.
It's just
Yeah.
lovely. I know they in vain when you do something and nothing happens. But I didn't know that vain means just lovely. Okay.
Okay. And then narrow-minded is someone, so we talked about someone being open-minded. So it is someone who is open to new ideas and change, doing things differently. And someone who is narrow-minded has very limited views on life. They don't like to try new things. Maybe they don't want to meet new people. They don't want to meet, maybe they don't want to try to understand other cultures. So they're very narrow-minded in they think that their culture is the only culture and this is how things should always be done. We shouldn't make any changes or anything. And unfortunately, you're going to run into some of those people, as you're being a refugee in some of the countries that you're in, you may run across some of those people that are very narrow-minded, unfortunately. And maybe that's something we can talk about in the future is, how we would work with and deal with and handle those types of people when we come across them as well. Has anyone had that experience at this point as you've migrated out of Ukraine?
Fortunately, I haven't experienced.
Good. I hope that no one has, and I hope that no one does, but I think unfortunately we may run across that at times. Yeah. Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, I was going to break you up into pairs, but I think because we would have one group that was 2 and then one that was 3 people, I think I'll just have you do this individually. And I would like each of you to find a picture of a famous person, somebody that you think other people in the group will know. So it can be someone, from Ukraine and the movies and things that you watch. And then I want you to write a description about that person, and then you'll present that to the group, and the group will guess who that person is. So I'll go back to the slide that we had a second ago with some of the different features, and you can use that to come up with your descriptions. Okay. Any questions about this?
Is it our homework?
Nope, we're going to do it right now.
Ah, can I do it now orally? Yeah.
Let's give everybody just a minute or two to
Okay.
get their set. But I'll let you go first when we're done.
Will you divide us into 2 groups?
I was going to, but I think it would be awkward because we would have 3 people in one and 2 people in another. So it's okay.
So, for example, I should choose a person and try to describe this
Yes.
person, and my co-mates will have to guess who is it.
Yes, exactly. So we'll take just a couple more minutes for everyone to come up with their descriptions. Okay. Olena, would you like to go first?
Yes, please. So this is very famous person. She is very pretty, slim. She has curvy, long hazel hair, and she has very nice big smile. She is sporty and positive. Her eyes are brown, and maybe she has pointy nose.
Is she Ukrainian?
No,
Is she,
Is she American?
Meghan Markle?
I think she's American. Yeah.
Is American.
Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought so. I would think.
Julia Roberts, very nice. Good job. Okay, Valeria, would you like to go next?
Yeah. It is a man, a famous man. He has a dark hair, middle long, and he has a right facial features, right face, and he has a tongue. He has just a little beard.
Beard.
And and he has a nice smile. Very nice, just a little, like a devil smile.
I like that. That's good.
And he has brown eyes and it's deep brown eyes. It's like a gypsy. And
Is he a footballer?
no, he's actor.
So he's a
Johnny
I
Depp.
a little with this. Yay!
I'm sorry,
was
who
it?
was it?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp lived in Kentucky when he was young, when he was like a teenager. And so he lived in a city called Owensboro in Kentucky. I've always liked him. I love watching his movies, but I'm not very happy with what's going on right now with him and finding out that he's abusive, but he's still very nice looking. And I still like his movies. Yeah. Okay. Katerina, how about you? Would you like to go next?
Me? Yeah.
Yes.
I believe that it's not famous person, but you know her. So let me just describe, and I believe that you will guess. I would like to start from the personality. I consider her as easygoing and absolutely friendly person. For me, she's very incredibly open-minded and a little bit honest, but maybe not a little, maybe more than a little bit honest. She has got gray straight hair tied in a bunch. Her skin is pale and she has got almond-shaped eyes. And I believe that they are not dark, but I'm not sure. And she's very smiling person, and she has got teen eyebrows, and they gray as well. Her lips are thin, and she's middle-aged lady.
Okay. All right. Any guesses?
And she
Is
wears
it old? She's old lady.
middle-aged.
Middle age. Okay.
Is she famous?
No,
No.
she isn't famous, but you know her.
Interesting. She's not famous, but you know her. I like that description.
Is it somebody from our group?
Yes. Everyone.
So it's Ali.
Yes.
Nice.
Very good. Very good.
You're almost famous.
Yes,
Boss. She's
I
famous.
love it. That was awesome. All right. Thank you. Kalinka, would you like to go next, please?
I describe the very famous photo with one person. This is black white photos. On this photo, old man with it's a funny, a little foolish photo.
Charlie Chaplin.
No.
Oh, that was a good guess.
Old man with very clever eyes, with gray hair.
It's the person who invented the bomb.
Yes, and he show his tango.
Ah, very interesting. And what's his name? I'm sorry.
Einstein. Einstein.
Einstein.
Okay.
Albert Einstein.
Okay. Bye, Elena. Okay. And Margot.
Yes. It's a famous person. She is one of the most beautiful women in the world. She has very beautiful full lips, amazing eyes.
Angelina
Uh,
Jolie.
yes.
Some of you are very good at this guessing game. I love it.
You should be patient.
Wonderful.
Patient.
Okay, and I also said that I would find a picture of a pointed nose. So yeah, so this is kind of what I was thinking of when I think about that. It's like the cartoonish pointed nose, but in reality, it is more that it just kind of comes down to a little bit of a point. It's maybe a little bit longer, and it's not as rounded for some people. Does that make sense? Does that help to describe, Alinka? Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't think that there's
maybe because it pointed like someone point on your nose.
yeah. Maybe, yeah. But you can see this one is, it's not like, there's not like a point like there is in this picture, obviously, but it does come down, just like a little bit more, and it's a little thinner there on the end. And that's really what they mean by a pointed nose. All right. So a little bit ago, I had you write a description about yourself. And I to share their description of themselves. So if someone asks you, tell me, so maybe we didn't have our cameras on and someone wanted to know about yourself, both physical and personality, how would you describe yourself? So Valeria, I'll start with you. How would you describe yourself?
Oh, I'm straight person. And I'm strong and very like a military.
Okay. Disciplined. That's the word. Disciplined. I'll add that to our list of description words here. Yes. Okay.
And I like tidy in all my life because I'm Virgo, so that's why I like when everything, every my things have a right places. So but I'm funny. I have a friend. So, it could be unexpected, but yes, and they like it in me. So I mean, my personality in me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's why, yeah.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. So another word for tidy, we could say organized.
Organized, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So both of those words are good. I'm also a very organized person. I used to, when I lived in Kentucky and I had like CDs or even books or movies, they were all alphabetized. So I was very organized but if I want to find a CD, I don't want to have to go through all of them to find the right one to listen to, right? I need to know where to look. So they were all the CDs were alphabetized by the group or singer, the artist, and then the movies, by the title. And the books were by our author as well. So yeah, I'm also a very organized person. Yes. All right. Thank you. Margot.
Nice.
As a personality, I describe myself like open, honest, and sincere, maybe. And in physical, I'm fine. I don't know.
I like that. That's good. You could say you're healthy.
Yes, maybe healthy, skinny, or
thin.
Thin
is another word. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Thin, yeah.
With brown hair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, those are all. I'm going to add thin to our list. So slim or thin are both words that can be used. Okay. Good.
Thank
Brown
you.
hair. What color eyes? Brown eyes?
Green.
Green eyes? Okay. It's hard for me to see sometimes.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Margot. And
Thank you.
Kalinka, how would you describe yourself?
I described myself many times because I met with British here
Mhm.
before we discuss some question. It's connected with help which British people provide for Ukrainian refugee here. Some advice provide food, so some stuff or clothes. So usually I, because I help other Ukrainian refugee,
Mhm.
I met with British people, and I described myself as a middle-aged tall woman with some clothes, with wave brown hair in glasses, in black glasses.
Glasses. Mhm.
Yeah.
That was one thing we didn't talk about before was, I'm sorry, my internet, my connection keeps going in and out, so I apologize. Hopefully whenever you all review, you'll see and hear everything. But we're talking about glasses. Yes, that is also a good thing that we didn't mention before, so I'll add that on to our list, glasses. And you mentioned, so if you're meeting someone that you don't know in person, and telling them like maybe what type of clothes you're wearing. Right.
Yeah.
So I have a red shirt on, or I'll be wearing a blue dress or
Yes.
something like that. That's important as well.
Yes, and other people usually mentioned I will be with big black bag, for
Right.
example.
Right.
Yeah, because it's very easy to recognize a person in crowd.
Yes. Here in Mexico, one thing that I've done once, well, I didn't do it, the other girl did first, but she took a picture of herself and sent it to me on WhatsApp at like just before we met. And so we were meeting in a park area. And so she took a picture and said, like, this is what I look like, you know, what I'm wearing today. And then so I took a picture of me and sent it back. And that was helpful as well.
Nice idea. I will use it. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, I'm typing some of this extra in here about, you know, wearing what you're wearing with a big black bag or a backpack. Can be, you know, something else as well. Okay, thank you. And Elena, how would you describe yourself?
I'm medium height. I have long brown hair and gray eyes. I'm a very responsible person, friendly, communicable, and with good sense of humor. And I like to get people to get in touch with each other, like to connect people.
Yes, to help
Yeah.
connect people.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love that. All right, thank you. And Katrina. Wait, I'm sorry. Your name is written in the Ukrainian letters, and so I've forgotten. Katerina, right? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
I would describe myself as a highly emotional person. This is my main feature, I would say. From time to time, I can be controversial. It depends on my mood.
Okay.
In comparison with you, I'm not an organized person. I'm very chaotic, maybe because I'm highly emotional. And I tend to be late all the time.
Okay.
I believe that I'm incredibly intelligent, and I have a lot of hobbies and different types of interests.
Okay. I love that. We didn't talk about intelligence earlier. That's a great one to add, and different types of interests. I like that too. Okay, great.
And when it takes on the appearance, I'm of short height. So my height is only 155 centimeters with ordinary shape of the body.
Mhm.
I have got blondish, curly and wavy hair. And what else? And nothing special in my face.
Oh, we all have something special.
All right, I have something
Find it.
special.
Yes, I know.
There is some, I don't know how to say it in English. There is a small spot between my eyebrows. It's like
Is it like a freckle or a mole?
I don't know. These spots are usually brown and they can be all over the skin
Yes,
of the body.
it's a freckle. So I'll add that word to the list as well.
As Buddha had. Do you remember?
I have lots of freckles as well. Yes. Mine aren't very noticeable right now. I've got a lot of red on my face at the moment, but I do have freckles on my arm. You can see.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
They come out even more when I get sun. So, all right, perfect. I like it. Okay, does anyone have any questions from today or anything else that you would like to bring up or mention or ask about? Now's your time. Also, remember, you are welcome to use the chat to ask any questions. If you come across something throughout your week and you just have a question about what does this mean? I heard this idiom or something like that, and you need help with understanding it, please feel free to put it into the chat group, and I'll help whenever I can. I'll get to it. I do teach during the day as well, and we are on well, I'm in Mexico, so if you're in the UK or something, that it's about a 6-hour time difference, but I will answer as soon as possible whenever I can to help you out. So please feel free to ask any questions at any time. Okay.
Yeah,
And
sure.
chat with each other, get to know each other a little bit more and share and things as well. That's what the chat group is all about. All right, so next week or next time on Friday, we are going to talk about how to tell a story. So later today, I will send out the recording from today as well as the link to the PowerPoint presentation and the document that I said. That's all going to be in our Google Doc. So I'll make sure everybody has that link as well. And then there will be a video for you to watch. And your homework will be to also write a very short story about yourself, like 1 or 2 paragraphs. It doesn't have to be anything too long because we're going to share with one another the story. Yeah, so just something brief on how to tell a story. Or the videos on how to tell a story. The homework is about your story. So, okay. All right. Any questions?
Write to you or just keep it for the next class?
If you want to send it to me separately, just to have me look over it and help out with anything, that is perfectly fine. But you don't have to do that. It will be presenting them in class.
Oh, thank you, by the way, for this question, because I have to warn, I will be out next Friday because my comprehensive course of Pilates is starting on Friday.
Okay.
And I'm not sure that I will be able to join at all.
That's fine, not a problem. But if you want to send the story, that'll be fine. So I'll be glad to look it over. Absolutely. All right, wonderful. Any other questions? All right, I hope everybody has a fabulous week and you enjoy your time. And looks like Elena's out getting some walking in. That's perfect. So if you haven't done that yet today, that'd be a good thing to do. If you haven't, I worked out myself this morning, so I'm ready to take a nap, but I got to start my day and teach, so I won't be able to do that yet. So, all right. Oh, teach more the rest of the day after you all. All right, that is all. Thank you all very much. It was fabulous.
Thank you.
Class today. I really
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye bye.